This is my before reading strategy, and it's called dramatic role play. So, how to use dramatic role play? So, the first thing you have to do is you have to briefly describe a situation, process, or event that students are going to read about. Students will then work in pairs or small groups to rehearse role plays of the element being explored. One or more groups then present their role plays to the class for everyone to see. So, by doing this before reading, students build pictures of the actions in their heads, which can be accessed as they get into the content. Keep it simple and focused on a single problem. It shouldn't get too long or kind of too broad of a topic, or else you'll have way too many things going on and you can't really rein it in. And a lot of the times the roles can represent people or animals, but you can use inanimate objects like chemicals, viruses, or numbers if you want to for math and science. So, an example, I read an article, How to Develop and Test Models. So if we were going to read that in the classroom, I might ask students to divide into groups of 2 for dramatic role play. And I would instruct them to do the following. So, student A, you are a scientist who just discovered a new virus. How could you show the others what the virus looks like and how it works? Student B, you are a banker tracking the cost of owning a house. How would you show others in a way that would make it easier to understand? Okay, and we would give the students a few minutes to kind of brainstorm ideas of how they would role play out those two roles and show others, and give them a minute to practice it. And then once the groups have had some time to work on it and practice, I would allow a few groups to demonstrate their entire idea to the class. I thought this article might work okay for it because it would get the students thinking of different ways that they could use models to display their ideas, and it would give students a lot of different a large variety of models they could do. One student might want to try to make a physical model of the virus. One student might want to draw a picture of the virus. One student might say that he would make a graph to show the cost of owning a house. One might say that you could use computers to do that. So a lot of different ideas, and by getting a few of those ideas going, it gives the students to kind of start it into the article. Okay, so then after a couple of groups have demonstrated, then you can read through the article or chapter, whatever you are reading. As students kind of come across the content, they're going to build, or they'll have an image of action in their minds that they can attach to the words in the article. Reading through an article, just talking about different ways that scientists and mathematicians use models would be really boring for a lot of students. But the hope is that as these students are reading through this article, they can actually see the different ways that other students have come up with modeling the virus or the cost of housing, and can kind of see, oh yeah, there are a lot of different ways and different methods of modeling this for people to see. Okay, then a short discussion about the role plays can get students thinking, and this strategy can also be done after reading the article, But the purpose is usually kind of changed for reflection or thinking about alternatives in the article. In the book, they kind of give the idea of they talk about two people in the Union armies. One is wounded. So if you bring up that idea before, the students kind of get creative and they kind of understand, okay, what are those two going to talk about? If one of them's wounded, do you need help? But if you do it afterwards, it kind of changes the meaning of or the purpose of what it's for. Afterwards, you might think, okay, it's more of a reflection or more of a idea on like what alternative things could have these soldiers said. So that is demonstrative role playing.